My name's George King, I'm 19 years old. I would say I'm an extreme athlete. Ever since I can remember, always so inquisitive about fear, constantly trying to find ways to push my mind and push my body. I don't know why I do it, and I don't know really why I climb the shard.
I just don't want something to go wrong.
Can security access this route?
I'll get the press there.
It's not safe.
When I was 13, I was on a school art trip. I remember looking outside the window from my coach bus and I saw the shard and I was like, I'm gonna climb that. I'd never seen anything like it. It felt like something had been placed in the present from the future. 6 years later, I decided I'd see if it is doable. I remember going there, getting off the tube, looking about, seeing a pillar there, seeing 4 security guards there.
But as I got closer, I started to realise if I do this with speed, if I attack this with precision, I could well get to the point of climb before the security get me.
That really started the adventure of the shard. Probably did over 200 recce's in the space of a year, and that got me down a route of wearing different disguises to avoid pattern recognition. Right, so office worker, this disguise would be used, and I'm going inside the office bit of the shard, walk around a bit, be on the phone, right? Because if you're on the phone, no one's really going to stop you speaking to whoever you're speaking to. It's business, right? So I'm walking around, no, speaking on it.
So what are you saying on the phone? You're sort of...
I'm just mumbling. I ain't saying anything. I'm just mumbling. Once I feel like I've got everything, put the imaginary phone call down into my pocket, Waterloo East, and I'm out of there. I came almost, I don't want to say psychotically obsessed, but it was such a level of obsession that if I was doing anything which wasn't related to the shard, I would feel that I'm underselling myself. Been an insomniac my whole life. I don't sleep. I also have ADHD, but I've never seen my disorders as a negative thing. I've seen it always as a strength. There were 3 main friends who were really in on it and really shared the vision.
I don't know if I can get
Sorry, so if you get here,
yeah.
why are you going all the way around here?
I'm doing the climb no matter what. There's no point sort of bringing up the concern that I could die, because I'm going to do this no matter what.
Have you thought about using a rope in one hand?
I don't want anything to do with ropes.
As much as I hate to say it, and I don't want to be an advocate of him being more dangerous, but the whole point of this is he's just there topless, like climbing like a fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was this big secret I had, which the shard didn't know about, my family didn't know about, my other friends didn't know about, that was going to become true.
I knew he was going to do something last summer, but I didn't know what it was, and I almost wanted him to just get on and do it. If he's doing a climb, he said to me, "Do you want to know?" And I said, "No, I don't want to know."
I was ready when I was no longer having nightmares of it, because that told me my subconscious was ready, and if my subconscious was ready for it, then I was mentally ready to do the challenge. I remember leaving my house in Oxford with this smile on my face, like it's really happening. I got to a hotel where I was staying for the night, just opposite where the shard is. I was so fired up. The shard security are going to wake up to the biggest security breach of its time. The police are going to wake up to a potential threat. The media is going to wake up to a breaking story. And I'm going to finally know if I live or die. But in that moment, I suddenly thought, fuck, have I done enough planning? Is this gonna work? Am I completely out of my depth here? I'm looking outside the window, I'm seeing the fucking shard and how imposing it is, and I'm thinking, have I done enough? I came out of my hotel room at around 5 o'clock, walking down the hallway, and I remember getting into the hotel elevator and looking in the mirror. It didn't look like there was something human there. Walking to London Bridge station and every sense was just heightened. The city was just waking up and I was trying to sneak in. And that was part of the plan actually, almost to try and get the security when they're not as alert as they should be. My entry point was London Bridge station. I went in with a friend, dropped onto the railway. My friend gave me a leg up, pulled myself up onto a ledge of London Bridge station roof, and I sprinted to the corner of the Shard. As soon as I do that, I'd trigger sensor, so everything needs to be really fast. I needed to get away from the bottom of the Shard as quickly as possible, otherwise the security could nab me. So I used a suction cup to get away from them as fast as possible. Once I was safely away from them, I began my climb from there. Now the majority of the Shard, excluding the bottom and the top, had little holes I can work myself up. So I just needed to sustain my muscular endurance so that when I got to the hard bit of the climb, I would have the potential to do that. Despite it being a new experience, I felt like I'd been there before because I visualized this climb for so long. It felt oddly familiar. As I'm climbing up, I'm going through the different levels, the offices, the restaurant, the bar, till I reached a maintenance man. He waved at me, I waved at him. The look on his face and his eyes when he saw me was of just like pure shock. When you're doing something where your life is literally in your fingertips, everything fires at once. Your endorphins, your dopamine, your serotonin, all to optimize your survival in that single moment. And you enter a state where you cannot think about any other things. That's where I feel actually most relaxed when I'm climbing a building and my life's in danger. The climb went from relatively straightforward to quite difficult when I reached the viewing deck. There were no longer pieces of a ladder which I could put my feet into, it was just a smooth panel. My hands were getting sort of this black sort of smear on them. My feet began to start slipping. So I thought the only way I could continue is through momentum to gain traction. So it came as a fight to survive. 20 meters below the tip, I just had to get into the building. If I continued, I would have died. For me, that was not a failure because I couldn't have planned for going above the viewing deck. And I'm a man of a plan, and that's what gave me the satisfaction that I had completed this challenge. When I eventually came in the building, I put my hands out to get arrested and get cuffed, and they put their hands out to shake my hand. The feeling I felt afterwards was just out of this world. I was just glowing with joy. The Shard climb was seen on the news because some people had filmed it on their phones. It was #1 trending on Twitter. No one knew who it was. It was just some guy had climbed the Shard. So I thought, I might as well just tell people it was me.
He said, "Hi, Mum." I said, "George, why are you ringing me?" And he said, "Because I just climbed the Shard." And I was like, "Oh, bloody hell, George. I can't believe you've done that, but I'm so proud of you and I'm so pleased you're safe." And that was my reaction. And then I felt completely numb.
I think there was an element of shock.
Do I really have to have a son who climbs things?
It's dangerous, and we don't want him to do it.
One side of them is really happy that I'm alive and just kind of proud of me that I've achieved something big. And then the other side is, don't do that again. That's like so fucking dangerous.
I would love it if you just said, "No, that's it. I'm not doing any of this."
Yeah, I know.
So much. It would.
You know what? I almost wish it was like that, but it's just built inside of me.
I just don't want something to go wrong.
When the police didn't arrest me and I was riding such a high, getting connected to a manager, meeting different people, sponsors, TV, that the thought of going to prison kind of became quite distant in my mind until I got an email from the Shard lawyers stating that I will have to go to court.
Had the first hearing, 10:30, went on for about 2 hours. Coming back at 2 p.m. to hear the final verdict, but it's 50-50 going to prison or simply getting a fine. So we're just waiting on the result. About 40 minutes now. 35 minutes.
You know what, I got cocky, you know, I achieved my dream, I'd done a few things in the press. I'd done it, you know, I wasn't gonna go to prison. They committed me to prison for 6 months. During the course of my sentence, I saw someone slit both their wrists and then my neighbour get stabbed. You have to adapt to survive. I remember the door opening for my release. Hey.
Our plans to shock the world again.
I only expected to see my family, and then I saw cameras and like a whole crowd of people.
I'm Brian, and I manage the French Spider-Man Alain Robert.
He said that he shared what I believed in, and he would like to work with me as my manager.
And I'll get the press there so that we cover the whole event.
I really felt on top of the world at that particular moment. But I just felt like I needed to do something which is the opposite of incarceration, to feel true freedom again.
An ocean, a cave, a dream that no one could save.
Being in my cell for so long in prison, I dreamt of being free again every single day. And then as soon as I did just a small climb, I suddenly felt back to normal.
You and I, we got our differences.
I feel like the whole Shard project taught me that I am committed to do these things, that I do have the ability to adapt to a situation, and that is my path.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Reborn, mate. Fucking reborn. I haven't not done that for a while. Oh, I forgot how much I miss it.
Done that and dusted.
He's such an advocate for people with ADHD. He has literally used it as a superpower.
He just does his own thing.
There's no one like him.
You want to get to your deathbed knowing that you fucking gave it your best shot and that you have no regrets whatsoever.